And I felt that we were able to impose ourselves in possession. We were able to impose ourselves in territory, which are important pieces of what we do. Was able to go into our depth and continue to build that as we go through the month of October, which is great on several fronts. Those players have earned those minutes, and we want to make sure we give them opportunity to earn more through what they do in a match, but also it allows us to prepare for Sunday. And we knew going into Sunday that it was going to be their first home game since the first week of September, so we knew they were going to be motivated. It's the Pawnee Woods rivalry match, so we knew that was going to be a motivational factor. And they're a good team. They got a good staff. They've kind of been up and down with results, but a bounce here, a break there is what's defining those results. And so they're a very good team, and they were prepared to compete. And I thought they had a good game plan coming in to kind of negate what we tried to do. And so we were put under some pressure in the first 20 minutes or so, and game was back and forth. Exciting game as a coach. You want to come in and you want to say that you did everything you wanted to do, but the fact is, as a fan, those are the kind of games you want to watch. Back and forth action. I think they hit the crossbar. We made a couple good saves, and their goalkeeper was fantastic on the day. And so proud of our team and the ability to shift and change our tactics a little bit. At about the 20-25 minute mark, then we began to get the run of play. We began to establish ourselves in shot count. We began to establish ourselves in territory. But no doubt, it was an exciting game. It was a game that was very emotional, and ultimately it came down to the team that was prepared to execute. Just as I've said before, these games at this level, especially rivalry games when both teams are up for it, it then comes down to who's going to execute, who's going to be disciplined. So on that side of things, it was very good.
Going into overtime, obviously, I don't know, you survived a heart attack there on the sideline, but playing overtime games, the general coach, how does that benefit a team like that, especially when you come out on the winning side of things?
Well, it is stressful, and you've got to make sure that you have a good balance in your mentality, a good balance in your shape. There's a bit of urgency with the golden goal rule, which I think is a great rule because it allows both teams to come out and play. But you got to make sure you don't change away from what put you in that position. You can't change what your identity is. You can't all of a sudden change and get away from what makes you great. And I think there are a lot of teams that when they get into an overtime situation, they begin to change too much. They begin to try to win the game too quickly, and they end up kind of sacrificing who they are as a team and as a program. And so we've been in overtime games this year. We've been successful in them. We've also dropped one. And so from an experience standpoint, we're prepared to go into overtime and stay true to who we are and be disciplined and be patient. And then with the tactical side of things as a staff, I thought we did a good job recognizing different matchups from an athletic standpoint that we were able to capitalize on and ultimately get the result. So overall, I'll tell you, it's no more stressful than the 90 minutes prior to it, but there is absolutely a sense of urgency.
The 4 straight shutouts for your ball club, that's pretty remarkable. Just talk about your defense right now, and obviously your goalkeeper along with that.
Sure. Well, I can tell you from a defensive side of things, it's really exciting. We've got some very good players. We've got some depth there, which is great. We've been building that depth over the course of the year. I can tell you that the way that we play with our possession style and our emphasis on possession, it limits the number of shots we give up because we have the ball. And so, yesterday we gave up 11 shots against a very motivated, very committed, and a good Sam Houston team. And so I think that, when you pair the ability to possess the ball along with how you're playing with your back unit and your midfield, the chances we're giving up are few. We actually are at the bottom of the conference in number of saves, which is great because it means our goalkeepers are being put in situations that they can execute and they can perform and make plays. We're not asking them to make 8-9 saves a game like some of the other teams we played. Sam Houston yesterday, I think it was 8 saves on the day, if I'm not mistaken. So we're not asking our goalkeepers to do that. What we're asking them to do is make plays when it's time, play their position, do their job, and do what makes them great. And there are some tactical implications that we won't go into here, that we allow and we give up certain things because we know it's our goalkeeper strengths. So it's exciting, you know. I think coming into this week we should be in the top 5 in the country in shutout percentage. I think we should be in the top 15 at least in goals against average. And so, you know, building on that and continuing to perform at that level while possessing the ball and creating as many chances as we have, those are good things. And I'll tell you the other stat that's exciting is we lead the conference in corner kick attempts. That's with a great non-conference schedule that we've played. And what that means is we've done a good job maturing through the fall so that we make teams make plays. One of the things we talk about, we don't want to give them anything. We don't want them to have an easy out. Let's get down there. If they make a play 9 out of 10 times, they make a play 9 out of 10 times, but it's that 1 out of 10 that they're not going to make a play. And so corner kicks usually are a direct result from that kind of pressure. So that's a great statistic as well.
Last question, just obviously you're tied for first now in conference. You saw an Incarnate Word team knock off Oral Roberts. With that happening, does that kind of, is that a good, you call it a teaching moment or something that you tell your players, hey, anything can happen on any given match here in this conference?
Well, you know, I think the teaching moment was when we dropped our game against Oral Roberts. And so there's no doubt we have a renewed appreciation for every opportunity to play. The opportunity to line up against another team and go live is something that all of our student athletes should appreciate and value because there is a finite number of opportunities to do that. And I think that was something that had been lost, maybe just for a minute, but nothing significant. But I tell you what it tells you, though, Incarnate Word has been a very successful program. Abilene Christian is another very successful program. And so their transition years into the conference has been very good for both teams. And so we're adding teams into this conference that will compete and make the conference better, make the RPI better. Now there's a transition period where there's no effect there right now. But I tell you, it's exciting. From top to bottom, the conference is getting better. Teams are improving. And so, you know, it's much easier to get up to play a team who's winning games than it is to make sure you're humble, focused, and ready to go against a team who maybe hasn't been successful. So, yeah, it's exciting. It's great. It's great as a fan. You want to see your conference do well. And a lot of teams are winning right now, which is good.
Can you just preview this weekend's matchup? You mentioned Abilene Christian and then McNeese State as well. Just preview those 2 games.
Sure, yeah. Well, we got McNeese on Friday, and I'll tell you, you know, McNeese does a good job. I know their coach there, good team. I tell you right now, we're expecting a physical game. We're expecting a match where they're going to be up to compete. I think they're, if not first in the conference, they may be second in the conference in fouls. So the identity of that team, they're going to be very competitive, and they're going to get after it. They're going to come here, and they're going to try everything they can to get a result. It's going to be a great game. And then Sunday, we're home again against Abilene Christian, which is great, not having to go out to Abilene. And so it's a very good team, very good program coming in here with a lot of success. They've won some big games, and no doubt we'll be ready for them. We've taken good note of both of these teams this weekend and understand the implications of being successful and prepared for these 2 games this weekend. So we'll see what happens. The kids will have a great week. There's no doubt they'll be ready to go, and it'll be a fun weekend for sure.